Piyush, thank you so much for speaking to ANI and congratulations. I believe this is how many? The 300th FTA you signed also? No, I'm being facetious, but then fabulous work and congratulations once again. But I have to ask you that you're terming this as a win-win deal for India and the US. The contours, you've discussed it in various interviews and in the media briefing that you had. I want to ask you that just break down the last 48 hours before this interim deal happened. What was going on in those last 48 hours, that crucial 48 hours?
Well, I think all negotiations are conversations in a very friendly manner. Both sides always look to protect their best interests, as they should. There are sensitivities on every issue that we discuss. The US may have some sensitivities, we may have some sensitivities. We have to respect those sensitivities on both sides. And the general approach is to come to an equitable, fair and balanced outcome. Usually towards the end you're trying to bring that fine balance which really makes it a win-win for both parties. And I think just as in all the other FTAs we have done with developed countries, and all our FTAs you must have observed are with countries who are not our competitors. They complement our economy. Similarly, the US is a country which has very deep strategic interests for India, as do we for the US. Our partnership encompasses much more than trade. We have a strong defense partnership. We are members of 2 Quads. Both of us share interests in critical minerals, in the partnership on technology. So for us, this is a trade agreement which will further cement the US-India long-term strategic goals into outcomes. And I see that we have come up through the negotiations, whether earlier or in the last 48 hours, with a very, very good agreement which will serve both countries honorably, which will provide opportunities for both countries in their respective areas of strength, which are quite different. Our per capita income is $3,000, their per capita income is $90,000. And therefore our interests will be pretty different, both on the sensitive side and on the offensive side.
So were the sensitive sides, was the culmination happened in those 48 hours? Would you say that?
I don't think so. I think a lot of the sensitive side on both sides were pretty much negotiated and well understood. There were a few issues which did get closed towards the end also.
Towards the end. Okay. With Europe it took almost 2 decades and in between it got abandoned also, and it takes a long time to hammer out these deals. You have past experience in this. But on February 2nd, President Trump calls Prime Minister Modi and he talks about this. And then there is Ambassador Sergio Gore. Did he in any way, his conversation with President Trump, did it turbocharge the talks in any manner?
Certainly, I have no hesitation in acknowledging that Ambassador Sergio Gore, who's a dear friend, has been a well-wisher of this relationship. He did play a very important role in concluding the conversation towards finalization and announcement. And I would like to recognize and respect his contribution.
And the call between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi?
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji and President Trump have been in regular dialogue all through.
For this trade deal too?
Well, they have multifarious discussions. I am not privy to what they discuss with each other on different calls. But they are both friends. They both have been in active dialogue on a variety of subjects. Both relevant to our two countries and other geopolitical issues across the world. And I think in that spirit of friendship, as the negotiators continued to persevere towards a fair and equitable deal, the two leaders guided our teams, guided us to make sure that it's a good deal that we come up with.
Right. In multiple interviews and in your press conference, you've said that you will not discuss the contours of the negotiations on Russian oil. And you said that that's not part of the trade deal, that's a different ministry, that's external affairs. But if there is a lack of bilateral consensus on Russian oil or on defense matters, doesn't that impact in any way, doesn't that impact in a great way on the trade deal too?
No, not at all.
No? How can that be? Because it's a major chunk of the trade that we do with the US.
Well, the buying of crude oil or LNG, LPG from the US is in India's own strategic interests as we diversify our oil sources. But the decisions are taken by the buyers, by the companies themselves. So the trade deal doesn't discuss who will buy what and from where. The trade deal ensures that the pathway to trade is smooth, ensures preferential access. Trade FTAs are all about preferential access to your competition. So today when we've got an 18% reciprocal tariff, we have a preference over other developing nations who are usually our competition. And that's why the free trade deal becomes very attractive.
You're talking about a preferential treatment, and there's a lot of talk that, you know, there's such a lack of trust. There's a trust deficit with the US, even though we have partnered with the US on several fields. But there is a trust deficit now with the Trump administration. How do you trust, especially on defense matters too, how do you trust a country which is dictating to us about what we should do with a third country?
I don't think there's any trust deficit between the United States of America and India, or between our leaders.
So are they not dictating terms about how we should be dealing with Russia? It's there in their...
I don't deal with that subject. You'll probably have to direct your question to the Foreign Office.
Because this is what is happening when, you know, it seems to most people that you're all working in silos, even though you're all part of one government. So how can you not have collective responsibility?
It's not working in silos. We all work together. But if there's a nuance or a detail about the trade deal, obviously if you ask, let's say, the agriculture minister, or you ask the rural development minister, or you ask the telecom minister, or you ask the foreign minister, he wouldn't know the nuances of the trade deal. Obviously he will direct it to me, just as I will direct the issues related to geopolitics to the foreign minister.
Piyushji, I'm going to ask you a question which I asked Dr. Manmohan Singh when the 123 nuclear deal was signed. The allegation is that you have ceded India's sovereignty. What is your response to this?
Absolute nonsense. Whoever is articulating this must be a pretty ignorant person who doesn't understand that this trade deal is truly a labor of love. It's come out of intense negotiations on both sides in the best interests of our country's stated goal to become a developed and prosperous country by 2047, Viksit Bharat 2047, and will provide immense opportunities for our youth, our sisters, our women, prevent huge opportunities for our farmers and fishermen. Our MSMEs will flourish. They'll become the provider of a lot of material that is required by the United States of America. Our textile sector, our footwear and leather sector, our toy sector, handloom, handicraft, auto components, furniture, sky's the limit. As Sergio mentioned, this is a partnership with unlimited potential.
Right. You're talking about job creation, you're talking about influx of foreign exchange, but the Americans are claiming and selling it to their public that Indian billions will flow into their country and their manufacturing sector, which is in a bad way, that is going to be revived with the Indian billions which are coming, not vice versa.
Smita ji, every country is attracting investments across the world. And there's certainly a possibility that some of the Indian companies also will find merit in investing in the US for various reasons. TCS has huge investments in the US in their IT services. Now, I've visited him in a very beautiful center, technology center that TCS has set up right outside New York. Now, does that mean that's bad for India? No, it's great for India. Provides a lot of job opportunities, provides business, and ultimately earnings. We have huge service sector earnings from exports. So I think investments should flow both ways. The other day somebody was asking me in an interview that net FDI probably for a quarter was minus. So we invested more worldwide than what we received in that particular quarter. And he thought I will be paranoid or I'll be worried about it. And my response was that I welcome that. It shows today India has so much confidence. Our Indian businesses are raring to grow and are willing to go to international trade in a much bigger way with a lot of boldness. And it's nothing new. Indian traders and Indian businessmen are known to have traded with the whole world. What was the spice route? What was the imperative, let's say, at one point of time when so many business persons from different parts of India went all over the world and today make India proud with their achievements?
You mentioned one of the goals being that for Viksit Bharat, all this is being done, and you have mentioned in many of your interviews that we are going to have access to high tech from the US. And in the give and take that we need to do, we have to understand, or India has to understand, that getting high tech from the US is one of our prime needs, because that is going to help in the AI sector, in whatever, in doing all that. Because of that, did we have to bite the bullet and give concessions in agriculture?
Not at all. An agreement is a whole series of negotiations around variety of subjects, goods, different types of agricultural and non-agricultural products, services. It's a very vast compass that you are dealing with. It was India's offensive interest. We wanted technology products, GPUs, NVIDIA chips or AI equipment and data center equipment. It's obviously something we want. It's necessary for our growth imperatives. Likewise, the Americans need a lot of things from India, which is good for their economy. So both countries will have offensive and defensive interests, and that's how the package is built up. But there is no correlation that, oh, I give up on agriculture or I give in on another area. On agriculture, you'll be happy to know all of India's sensitivities and the interests of farmers and producers have been safeguarded 100%.
Okay.
I have absolutely no hesitation in sharing with you that amongst other things, we have not opened or given any concession to meat, to poultry, to any kind of GM foods or their products, any soya meal, corn, maize, makka, cereals like rice and wheat, or millets like jawar, bajra, ragi, kodo or amaranth, amongst others, sugar, fruits which are produced in India like banana, strawberry, cherries, citrus fruits, pulses like green peas, kabuli chana, moong, where we have enough production, oil seeds, certain animal feed, groundnuts, honey, malt and its extracts, non-alcoholic beverages, flour and meals, starch, essential oils. I mean, the list goes on and on. Ethanol for fuel, tobacco. These are sensitive to India. We have not given up.
Like the hill states are worried about apples or about tree nuts. They're worried that, and the basic question that we are a food surplus, food producing nation. Why do we need foreign foods?
These are the products which I listed out on which we are surplus, and
Right.
therefore we have not opened it. We are not surplus in apples. The demand of apples is more than 25-26 lakh tons. We produce about 20-21 lakh tons. As we speak, we import 5.5 lakh tons of apple every year, as we speak. And a large quantity of that comes from the United States of America. We have not opened up apples. We have given them a quota
Okay.
on apples which we'll
And then the
procure
private
from there.
sector
That
does-
is less than the current imports of apples from USA.
Okay.
Also, it's important to note, we have been very cautious in our opening up. Today, apple has a minimum import price of 50 rupees. And there's a 50% duty which adds 25 rupees. So 75 rupees is the base or the floor below which goods don't come into the country. So in some sense, that's the protection that the apple farmers also get, that nobody can dump material and make it so cheap that apples don't get a fair value. But even in the quota we have given to the US, the minimum import price is 80 rupees. They make high quality apples. Is 80 rupees. There's a duty on that of 20 rupees. So the landed price of that will be 100 rupees. It's not in competition with our farmers, not in
Doing
competition,
cheaper apples.
not
anyway.
hurting the apple industry over here, and again limited to a quota, which is less than what they are exporting even today to India. And certainly only a portion of the 5.5 lakh tons of apples that we are importing into India. Tell me which farmer in any hill state is hurt by this. Let any farmer explain to me what is the hurt in this. Similarly, tree nuts. We are importing tree nuts for years and years. You may remember in your childhood having had California almonds. Pistachios are imported into the country. We import walnuts in India. As we speak, and for years, from the time the Congress was in power, we have been importing it. There is a shortage of these products.
Okay.
We continue to import. There's not enough land in the hill states where this production can be expanded. Simultaneously, we are talking of technology collaborations to help our farmers increase their productivity, for which we are working with our farmers, our trading partners. I've just tied up with New Zealand
But it
to
can't
help
be
our...
competitive, right? Because we are not mechanized in our.
Well, we have talked to New Zealand to help them, to bring their farmers to India and technology to India to help our, say, kiwi growers to increase productivity. When I saw the kiwi farms there, I was very impressed. I said, I want to see that happen in India. And it's a part of our FTA to get that technology and their farmers.
But they're highly perishable fruits, so you need food processing, you need all that, which is what our farmers say that we don't have
But
that.
for which Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already focused his effort on it. He's provided a 1 lakh crore rupee agri development fund. We are willing to support food processing in a big way, because bear in mind, even today we are a net exporter of food and fish products.
Right.
We export 5 lakh crores worth of products made by our farmers, produced by our farmers, or the fish catch in India. Our imports are less than that. And we would like to double that 5 lakh crores to 10 lakh crores.
Yeah.
So we are in fact on the contrary asking more and more of our farmers to increase production so that we have surplus capacities. We can process those and export those high quality products.
You did mention
that our farmers
that
produce.
you spoke with some of in the coastal states in Kerala and all. You spoke with the fishery guys.
So much
and-
excitement,
Yeah.
so much happiness across the coastal areas. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, all of Odisha, they are all celebrating this agreements between EU and
for
US
fisheries because of that.
because they have
And the
huge
food
demand.
growth,
In fact, for your kind information, even when the reciprocal tariff was 50% and the fish, seafood exporters were in serious concerns, we opened up doors for them in the European Union, got all of them listed there.
Correct.
And other markets.
Yeah.
I personally would talk to ministers around the world to look at diversifying our markets. And our fish exports grew by 20% even in the current. It's currently on a growth phase. Despite all the problems we've had for so many months when the
but
tariff was
that's because
high.
also the agility of
And I told them at that point of time, this will be a double advantage for you. Now you have diversified market, and now your US market also is opened up. I had promised them that once the deal happens, you can actually double your fish exports.
So coming back to what I say is that's the agility of the farmers, the fish farmers, and their ability to speak with you and you helping in opening up the new markets,
Absolutely.
right? But agriculture, states are sensitive when it comes to agriculture. Did you speak with the states with regard to all these issues like the corn, maize, wheat?
We have all kept out.
Correct. But did you speak
We
with
have
the states?
kept every item of sensitivity out of the agreement.
Okay.
What we've opened is items where we have shortage, again calibrated opening. And I see absolutely no harm to our farmers. I'm happy to meet any farm delegations or any persons who may have any misgivings on this. I have an open door policy on this. Our Agriculture Minister, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, even yesterday was in Madhya Pradesh with 9 states' agriculture ministers, and they celebrated both these agreements, EU and US. I think farmers understand the huge potential and the possibilities of increasing their income thanks to the new markets that will open up for them. Sadly, a few political elements do try to distort issues or misrepresent them or try to divert from all the support that we have got them in these agreements or mislead them into falsehoods. Gumrah karne ki koshish karte hain, and I think it's very sad that they are playing with the sentiments with these very simple and very well-meaning farmers. I would appeal to everybody to desist from misleading farmers, and if anybody, any farm organization, any journalist, any newspaper, any expert on farm economy has any concerns, please reach out to us.
The reason I'm asking is कि ये जो संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा है, उन्होंने कहा है कि अगले हफ्ते आंदोलन स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं, पूरे देश में आंदोलन होगा. अब क्या आप समझते हैं कि कुछ ऐसे तत्व हैं जो गुमराह कर रहे हैं इन किसानों को?
I suspect that's a very small faction, and it's a breakaway faction which has given this call. Most farmers in the country understand that this is good for them. They are already exporting 5 lakh crores worth of farm and fish products. This can double in the next few years. They understand that we have opened up large opportunities. Let me tell you, all our agri products now will have a lower reciprocal tariff than our competition at 18%. In addition to that, I'll read out some items where we brought down the reciprocal tariffs to 0.
Okay.
Like tea and coffee and its extracts, there'll be 0 tariff. On spices, there'll be 0 tariff. On copra, coconut or coconut oil, there'll be 0 tariffs. On vegetable wax, 0 tariff. Nuts like areca nut, which we make in India. Brazil nuts, cashew nuts, chestnuts, 0 reciprocal tariff. Fruits and vegetables like avocados, banana, guavas, mangoes, kiwis, papayas, pineapple, shiitake mushroom, 0 reciprocal tariff. So Omar Abdullah ji should actually be celebrating. Vegetable plating material.
You would be worried about apples, which you have clarified.
I've clarified that.
Shiitake mushroom, yes, the hill states again you're talking about.
Certain roots like taro, bambara beans, many products. I have a whole list here.
Yeah.
Sesame seeds, processed foods like banana pulp, citrus juices, guava and mango paste, pineapple jam, 0 tariff. So
again, you're talking about coastal and northeast states.
Everybody stands to benefit.
Yeah.
Everybody across the country.
Right.
Their interests have been enhanced to help them become large exporters. Their sensitivities have been respected. I think this is an agreement which calls for a celebration amongst our farmers and fishermen.
Piyush, a little bit of confusion about Indian exports on steel, copper and aluminium. Do they still have that 50%?
No, there's no confusion. Everybody knows and that's a Section 232 tariff.
Yeah,
It's not a reciprocal tariff. That's a national security clause under which they have carried out an investigation, and these products are at 50% for the entire world.
Okay.
Nothing to do with India.
So
we are on the same footing as any other country in the world.
So what happens when we export a goods which has steel and copper in that? They have
given us certain exemptions, like aircraft components that we export will get zero duty even under Section 232. There are certain auto components where we will get zero duty even if they come under steel. 232. That's right.
Okay.
So that'll all come out when the final agreement is placed before
Which
the
is
people.
when?
Should take about a month or month and a half. It's a part of the joint statement.
Yeah.
It's declared and announced.
March.
Pharmaceutical, they have not yet come with the final determination.
And this is,
under
the
232.
pharmaceutical is also very confusing that they're going to have, there is a wordage which is
I'll tell you
ambiguous.
why that wording is not at all ambiguous. The problem is they have not yet come up with the final determination under Section 232, which we don't know what the determination will be. It could jolly well be zero also.
Okay.
So therefore that has been written that we will negotiate and finalize after the 232.
But don't they have it in a blueprint in place? During COVID, the same thing happened. They had a blueprint.
No, this is a legal regulatory process. Like we have anti-dumping duty under Director General of Trade Remedies. This is a section in their law, 232, under which when they see a threat to their national security, they can put a tariff universally on everybody.
Including pharmaceuticals.
So pharmaceuticals is currently under investigation. They have not yet decided, but we have an assurance that our pharmaceuticals that we sell from India to the US,
the generic drugs, basically.
Generic drugs will get zero duty.
Okay.
Our gem and diamonds have got a zero duty.
Yeah.
Reciprocal tariff.
Come to the defense deal, the 10-year defense. How do you? Everybody's asking this. How do we bind ourselves like this with a country which, of late, in spite of what happened during Operation Sindoor,
again,
is
you're going down a path. No, you're going down a path. You can continue to ask questions, but I deal with trade and not with defense. This can best be answered by either the defense minister.
But you did say that we're going to be purchasing in that 5
what
billion.
Did I say?
That
please read it carefully.
In the three years that we have to buy.
No, we don't have to. We intend to.
Yeah. So the engines
procure
are going to
certain
come.
equipment. No, I've talked about aircraft engines and aircraft parts.
Right.
That's
Isn't that coming in from defense?
Civil
also?
aviation.
So the defense deal doesn't come into this.
Trade doesn't deal with defense. Trade deals with commercial requirements.
So the GE engines will only be for the commercial ones?
I don't know. You'll have to direct your question to the right
So
person.
100 billion is how much we have to buy?
We don't have to buy. I'm again repeating.
We've committed
I
to it,
can
right?
give you a copy of the joint statement if that
So
helps you.
100 billion in 5 years
ask
we
the
have
right
to
question.
do it, right? No, 100 billion a year we
Now
have
let
to
me
do.
explain to you. No, there's no such limitation. We estimate that the requirements that we have for import of certain items where the United States has the ability to sell to us.
Yeah.
Things like crude oil, LNG, LPG, airplanes, their engines, their spare parts, coking coal. You know, we have 140 million tons steel capacity. We're going to increase that to 300 million tons. Our current coking coal requirement for steel is already $17 billion. That will become probably $30 billion.
So 100 billion automatically.
So 35 billion a year will be required only coking coal. Now we have 1 or 2 countries.
1 or 2 engines is
Excuse
enough.
me. If we have 1 or 2 more countries supplying that, the more the merrier. We get a better deal. We can negotiate smarter and better. Planes are required by India. We already have orders of 50 billion to Boeing for planes, plus orders for engines, plus orders for spare parts. I suspect we'll need anywhere between 80 and 100 billion dollars of just civil aviation related products. We continue to buy a lot of energy needs from all over the world, and that grows every year 8 to 10%, 6 to 8%. Now we will require large quantities.
Yeah.
We are setting up data centers. We are developing the AI and quantum computing economy in a big way. All of these will require huge amounts of ICT products. When we estimate these products, currently, as we speak, we are already importing 300 billion a year of these products from different parts of the world. In the next 5 years, we estimate we will need $2 trillion of these products, where America has very good capabilities and capacity to support the Indian economy with high quality at competitive prices. So we hope they will offer us very competitive prices. We intend to purchase a good volume of these products out of our $2 trillion imports.
But intent alag baat hoti hai aur fir.
So read the joint statement.
So, okay, I'm reading it out from the paper that you've given me. In the event of any change to the agreement...
No, that is not
no,
relevant.
I know, I'm just reading
but
this point.
First, let's close the loop on $500 billion.
Okay.
Please read the $500 billion.
Okay, fine. On the 500 billion itself, right. Now, let me come to the point that
so
I have...
am I right?
Yeah, okay, fine.
India intends to purchase...
You think I'm going to negotiate with you? If the Americans couldn't, where do I stand?
They have negotiated very hard, and we've had a wonderful experience negotiating with tough countries across the globe. We've negotiated with Australia, with New Zealand, with 27 nation block of European Union countries.
Correct.
With Oman, with
so
UAE.
I stand a chance with you.
With 4 nation EFTA bloc, with
the
UK.
Terminology which the MEA uses usually, they say free and candid discussions, which means कि थोड़ी बहुत तो गाली गलौच हुई होगी behind closed doors.
ईमानदारी से कभी भी नहीं हुई और किसी देश के साथ नहीं हुई है.
अच्छा.
We have had such wonderful negotiations. I assure you, we've had wonderful negotiations. We have always been smiling, cracking jokes, laughing, having a tea break where we jostle on the quality of cookies and pastries that are served when we are negotiating in their countries.
What do you serve?
Where they are praising the wonderful Indian hospitality and our variety of cuisines.
Did you serve millet samosas?
We have, by the way.
Good heavens. Okay. Good for
and we've offered them a number of millet products. And by the way, countries with whom we are talking are now asking us to support them to grow millets in their country for 2 reasons. It doesn't take that much water, grows very fast, is very high on nutrition. So millets is becoming the flavor of the world gradually.
Sure. Yeah. And I think we can take a lead on that.
Oh yes.
And
our farmers will benefit.
You're talking about this sab changa si kind of mood, but tell me about this line. It really bothered me.
सब चंगा क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? आप लोग ऐसा क्यों सोचते? हम जर्नलिस्ट नहीं है. आप लोग ऐसा क्यों सोचते हो कि सभी जगह टेढ़ा मेढ़ा होना चाहिए या सभी जगह कोई आक्रोश होना चाहिए या सभी जगह कोई ना कोई मतभेद होना चाहिए?
But you were negotiating on my
या हेडलाइन क्यों हर एक चीज में ढूंढते?
But I am expecting that you will fight for me when you are speaking in that room, right? As an Indian, I want you to fight for me.
No, but to get the best outcome, I don't have to fight. To get the best outcome, I have to be firm.
Okay.
I have to be knowledgeable. I have to have adequate data to support my arguments, and I have to be persuasive.
Okay, sounds very sweet and nice. Tell me then, why is this line?
Why does it sound? It is sweet and nice.
You're not going to let me complete. In the event of any changes to the agreed upon tariffs of either country, the United States and India agree that other country may modify its commitments. It seems like both of you are giving each other that room to walk away from a deal which you're going to be signing.
ऐसा नहीं है. It's when you do a free trade agreement, and this is broadly a clause you'll find in every free trade agreement.
Yeah, is this a part? That's what I'm asking you.
Normal condition. Suppose we agree on a free trade agreement. Let's take, for argument's sake, that
do you have this phrase?
They have allowed
FTAs?
In all FTAs.
Okay.
If anybody changes the terms of trade, either the import duty or brings in some barrier because of which what benefit I was to get out of an FTA is taken away from me, or I lose that benefit, I have the right to rebalance. It's not a clause related to FTAs alone, it's a WTO provision.
Okay.
That if any country discriminates or takes away the rights of another party, the affected party can rebalance their commitments so that they are not a loser. A free trade agreement is about balance, is about fairness, is about equity. And I would believe that our effort is that we should ensure stability and predictability, and nobody should ever have to look at rebalancing.
Okay. Those who are writing these columns now, analyzing it, because it's just been a couple of, just 48 hours. Now, in the event of any, when you say that this balanced trade deal, it's a balanced trade deal, it's a win-win situation, there's 18% once it's signed, it's still 25%, and they are at zero. How is it balanced? Is what everybody's asking.
It's such a childish question. The whole world knows that reciprocal tariffs have been put in by the United States to all the countries of the world.
So if I may say so, it's a former finance minister who's saying this. So
yeah, because every country in the world, for example, India had very high tariffs, right? On many products we have even tariffs as high as 110%. Now it's a matter of fact that every country has to pay the same tariff, and if I give a concession to somebody, he gets a benefit. Now, in the case of the United States of America, they may have had some tariffs in the past, but the current tariff that every country pays includes a reciprocal tariff. So what you are negotiating is to get a benefit from what you are paying until 4 days ago. What is the benefit you are getting from that? And vis-a-vis that benefit, do you become, relative to your competition, an attractive business case? Relative to your competition, do you get a preference?
Who's our competition?
Our competition, for example, is other labor-oriented countries like Bangladesh in textiles, Vietnam in electronic products, Indonesia, Malaysia, other developing nations who compete with us for the same kind of products that we are exporting.
And who was competing with America? Was it China? Did we have that as a competition?
Well, the products that America supplies also would have competition from other European countries.
Like NVIDIA, you
from
mentioned.
China, from every item you have to look at from a different lens. And which is why negotiations are very intense, very detailed. They go line by line, and we have some 12,000 lines. You have to crystal gaze into the future. You have to understand both sides' strengths and weaknesses, almost doing a SWOT analysis on every product. So it's a very intense work. Takes long, patient study, understanding and negotiation, and never has to be done in a hurry, which is why I often say that we should have speed, not haste. We should never negotiate with a deadline in our head.
Well, that in India never gets blamed for that. I mean, if it's taken 20 years to do an FTA with Europe, we are never doing things
Pardon
in
me,
haste.
no. I would like to join issue with you on that.
Okay.
It is the UPA, the Congress, this DMK, Samajwadi Party, Trinamool Congress, this haphazard coalition which messed up the Indian economy between 2004 to 14, taking us down from a strong economy to a fragile 5 economy, which tried to negotiate with Europe. They started talking in 2006, launched in 2007, aborted in 2013. But they didn't have the courage of conviction, they didn't have clarity of vision, they didn't have the confidence that India can do it. They didn't have a vision for it, the future of India. They aborted it. In fact, the Europeans were so frustrated they didn't even want to restart. It is thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal relationship with all the European countries' leaders, thanks to the trust that India today enjoys. Prime Minister Modi has built a trusted partnership with most European countries that now they were eager to do a free trade deal with India. They felt that with a leader like Mr. Modi, a free trade deal can happen. And India has lost so much opportunity in these last 2 decades, 20 years. I in fact blame the Congress, the DMK and Trinamool Congress, Samajwadi Party and their ilk for having caused huge loss to India. It is an act which has betrayed our youth, betrayed our women, betrayed our MSMEs. If they had done this deal 20 years ago, India would have been better off for it. We have taken the decision in the best interest of our people. This will create lakhs and lakhs of jobs, and collectively our engagement with the developed world will create crores of jobs, will expand our economy, will bring foreign investment in large measure, will help our services sector grow rapidly, will provide better skills, high quality products for our local consumers also. After all, 140 crore Indian consumers, 140 crore Indian consumers are also a stakeholder. We have a duty to give them high quality products at competitive prices. So we have a very holistic, comprehensive view when we enter into discussions. When we enter into discussions, we enter into it with our eyes open. Usually, before we launch or before we start negotiations, we even sort out the sensitivities broadly and understand each other, explain the nuances of working with between, let's say, a $90,000 economy in the US and a $3,000 per capita economy in India. These things, these ground rules or the gateway issues, the framework is set well in advance, which really smoothens the process towards a good outcome.
It's interesting that you say that, one shouldn't have haste in signing these deals, but many say that it's the weaponization of the tariff regime, which Donald Trump did, which led to Europe and the others for the haste in which they signed with India.
Well, I would tend to disagree with. I would disagree with that. After all, we decided in the Porto summit in 2021, which was held virtually because of COVID, and by coincidence, Mr. Da Costa was the Prime Minister of Portugal at that time, person of Indian origin.
Yeah.
That summit, it was decided we should restart negotiations because the Europeans had got confidence in Mr. Modi and in the India growth story. July or thereabouts, mid-2022, we launched, started discussions. 24, there was a little gap. We went into elections in 24. They also went into elections in 24, the European Union. So there was a little period where negotiations were slow, though the officials were talking to each other. On 1st December 2024, Mr. Maroš Šefčovič got appointed as the Trade Commissioner. He's one of the oldest serving commissioners, very experienced hand. He was appointed Trade Commissioner. At that time, there was none of these issues or problems which you are assuming helped us to speed up negotiations. None of these were there. And at that time, Ms. von der Leyen has mentioned that I'm appointing my best man for the job because I want to get the Indian trade deal done. So I think it's nothing to do with one relationship, has nothing to do with another situation. Every trade deal stands on its own legs. And we've right since December 2024 until we close on 27th January 2026. It's been a labor of love, work with a lot of passion, work with a collective effort of both sides, and 27 governments on that side, the whole of the government in India, working towards a fair and very, very balanced agreement between both geographies.
Are you doing the same thing with GCC when you're talking to them? That it's
just launched 3 days back. We already have an agreement with Oman and with UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain and Kuwait were left out. Almost all of them have been coming to us individually also. That look, if GCC level negotiations are not happening, let's do it bilaterally. At least 2 out of these other 4 countries have already talked to us. But now that GCC has decided that they would like to do a collective agreement, all 6 countries, we decided to launch.
So finally, I have to ask you this question that, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mr. Carney, when his speech in Davos, he talked about a rupture, and he said that middle powers have to work together because trade is being used coercively. Do you think that had an impact on President Donald Trump, and do you think that kind of gave the fillip to this trade deal with India?
I would not like to comment on one country's leader's comments and its impact on another country's leader. I can only say this much, that Canadian Trade Minister and I have had a series of meetings, some in person, some virtually, and we have both decided that we should finalize terms of reference quickly and would like to also have a free trade agreement between the two countries for the shared prosperity of the people of Canada and India and for mutual benefit.
Just in conclusion, when just an anecdote I want to share with you, that when the 123 nuclear trade deal was being signed, at that time on the sidelines, off record, the Americans would speak with Indian journalists and say, we're going to be signing the nuclear accord with you. Your nuclear apartheid ends. But when it actually comes to nuclear commerce, it'll be the French who will come in and do the commerce with you guys before we do, because we have so much red tapeism in our country too. So now here you are signing the trade deal with America, a lot of expectations, a lot of controversies, and the Canadians are probably going to be getting the commerce with you going before the others.
I don't think there's any parallel in that.
Okay.
To my mind, the United States is a great country to work with. We have wonderful relations at every level, between our leaders, at the ministerial level, between our businesses, and the people-to-people contact is fantastic. The relations and the number of Indian persons of Indian origin who work there and who have adopted that as their country. So they work as a living bridge and help nuance the relationship. In fact, the United States is a great country to do business also. I myself, in my early days as a young man, exported a lot of products to the US.
Before you got into politics?
No, I was in politics right from my childhood, but I was not a full-time politician. I used to work for my party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, in my young days. But we have always believed that it's good that we stand on our own feet, we provide for ourselves, we work for a few years in the commercial world and provide and make enough capital to be able to serve the nation when you do jump into it full time.
Are you ready with your ammo, sir? Because the Parliament session is going to be difficult for you guys, in the sense that the opposition is going to attack you a lot on the trade deal.
What is the difficulty? I've done a fantastic deal. We are celebrating the deal. They may attack on falsehoods, about which I'm not worried. But if there was any mistake about which I had to be embarrassed, if there was any loose end which I would have left behind, then I should have been worried. I welcome any discussion on this. I welcome anybody to come and have a conversation with me on this, provided they're willing to let Parliament run. We can have it in Parliament, we can have it outside Parliament, but usually until the trade deal is complete in all respects and approved by the Cabinet, it's not placed in public domain.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait for some time. Yes, we'll have to wait for some more time. And in any case, there's nothing in this that they can attack me with. I dare say they are very non-serious politicians. They've missed an opportunity to have a healthy debate on the President's address to Parliament, which is a absolutely sad day for us. Probably the first time that we've had to abort a complete discussion because of the immaturity and behavior of some parliamentarians from the opposition. I do hope they will see reason and understand that Parliament is a debate for discussion, for debate, for dialogue. We want them to raise issues of public importance. Our MPs feel sad that they would like to raise issues of importance to their constituents in their constituencies who are also deprived because of this behavior that we are witnessing on television. In fact, the world must be seeing this and really wondering what kind of opposition leaders India has.
Right. On that note, thank you very much, sir, for giving us the time.
Thank you.